the latest military news update. This is AFP Community News, hosted by Rob Suzon every 12 noon, Mondays to Fridays. Only here on DWDD Armed Forces Radio. One AFP for a stronger Philippines.
46 IB neutralizes NPA member in summer clash. AFP refutes false claims and allowance hike in those projects. NNIZ to start activation of V-gates at NAIA. DILG to probe alleged internal systems breached by hackers.
Hello to everyone, especially to our troops at Camp Emilio Ginaldo in Quezon City. Today is Monday, November 24, and this is AFP Community News, your source for the updates on the armed forces and other developments across the country. I am Rolf Susan Abay, here to bring you today's story.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
For the brief overview of our news, the 46th Infantry Battalion engaged New People's Army terrorists in the hinterlands of Gandara in San Jorge Samar yesterday, resulting in the neutralization of one insurgent. Troops also seized 3 high-powered firearms and other war material, further weakening the Eastern Visayas Regional Party Kami's operational capability. 801st Infantry Brigade Commander Brigadier General Arlino Sinday Diego praised the troops' determination to eliminate the remaining armed threat in the province. Moreover, 8ID Commander Major General Adonis Ariel Arayo reaffirmed their commitment to sustain operations that secure communities and support regional development.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
Government troops from the 103rd Infantry Battalion engaged about 10 Communist terrorist group members in Barangay Alagia, Pinokpok, Kalinga yesterday, just 2 days after an earlier encounter in Bayao. The firefight resulted in the death of one rebel and the recovery of a high-powered firearm. One government soldier was wounded and immediately brought to the hospital for treatment. The 503rd Infantry Brigade vowed to continue pursuit operations and urged the remaining CTG members to surrender and return to the folds of the law.
Armed Forces Radio.
And now from our report on the ground, let's hear the report of AMI about PMA recognizes Madasila class of 2029 in ceremonial rites.
The Philippine Military Academy formally recognized the PMA Madasila class of 2029 in a ceremony led by Armed Forces of the Philippines Chief of Staff, General Romeo S. Browner Jr. at Borromeo Field, Baguio City. General Browner praised the cadets for enduring the Academy's rigorous challenges and earning their place as full members of the Cadet Corps AFP. He reminded them that recognition is not the end, but the beginning of greater expectations and responsibilities. The class now advances to the next stage of training, preparing to eventually lead by confront emerging security challenges as future AFP officers. This is Ame reporting for AFP Community News, one AFP for stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Amy.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
The Armed Forces of the Philippines refuted allegations made by Representative Kiko Barzaga, claiming a personal allowance increase for the Armed Forces of the Philippines and 15 billion pesos in ghost projects. The AFP clarified that the video being circulated is from 2024 and refers to a subsistence allowance increase for all personnel that began in December 2023. It also emphasized that the funds under the TICAS program are handled entirely by the Department of Public Works and Highways, not the AFP. The organization urged the public to remain vigilant against attempts to mislead and drag the military into political issues.
DWDD Armed Armed Forces News.
4 former members of the Bangsamoro Islamic Freedom Fighters Karyalan faction surrendered along with high-powered firearms to the 33rd Infantry Battalion at its headquarters in Barangay Zapacan, Radha, Buayan, Maguindanao del Sur. The surrender, supported by the Small Arms and Light Weapons Management Program, also included the voluntary turnover of 16 additional loose firearms from various municipalities. Local government units and the provincial government immediately provided cash and in-kind support to help the former extremists rebuild their lives. Brigade Commander Brigadier General Edgar Katu, the command of the 601st Infantry Brigade, lauded the move as a major step toward lasting peace and highlighted the importance of community cooperation in ending violence in the region.
Armed Forces Radio.
From NOLCOM, let's hear some information from Joanne. PMA recognizes Madasilak class of 2029 in ceremonial rites.
The 7th Infantry Kaugnay Division strengthened its strategic engagement with retired AFP personnel through the ugnayan sa mga retiradong sundalo sa 7th ID conducted on 21 November 2025 at the Headquarters 307th Community Defense Center, 3rd RCDG Rescom Philippine Army in Baler. A total of 64 retirees participated in the activity, which forms part of 7ID's continuing effort to reinforce trusted community networks, promote accurate information, and sustain peace and stability across the region. The event was led by Colonel George Bergonia, Assistant Division Commander for Reservists and Retirees Affairs 7ID, together with the key officers from the 7th ID, 91st Infantry Battalion, and 307 CDC. The Philippine Veterans Affairs Office also briefed participants on updated benefits, entitlements, and ongoing support programs. The initiative highlights the division's recognition of veterans as credible partners and force multipliers, individuals whose experience, influence, and community presence contribute significantly to countering misinformation, strengthening national security, and upholding public trust in the AFP. Colonel Begonia reaffirms 7ID's commitment to sustaining its long-standing partnership with retirees, emphasizing that their continued engagement remains vital to the Army's mission of protecting communities and safeguarding regional stability. This is John Sagauk reporting for AFP Community News 1 AFP for Stronger Philippines.
Thank you for your report, Juan, from NOLCOM regarding the 7ID strengthens strategic partnership with AFP retirees in Aurora.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
The 402nd Infantry Brigade and the provincial government of Agusan del Norte successfully conducted a 7-day deradicalization program, transforming 29 former rebels into peace advocates at Camp Romualdo Ruby in Butuan City, co-facilitated by the 29th and 23rd Infantry Battalions, 4th Civil Military Operations Battalion, and the Provincial Police. The program provided life skills training, trauma counseling, and guidance on sustainable livelihood projects. Governor Maria Angelica Rosedel Amante highlighted the importance of reintegrating former rebels to promote lasting peace and community development. The newly converted peace advocates are now expected to return to their communities and serve as living examples of reconciliation and peaceful reintegration.
DWDD National
And now for
News.
our national news, the Department of Health reported that dengue cases dropped to 14,038 from October 12 to 25, an 8% decrease from the previous period. Despite the decline, officials warned that recent cyclones may create new mosquito breeding sites that could reverse the trend. The department is urging communities to follow the Taob, Taktak, Tuyo, Takip measures to eliminate standing water and reduce mosquito populations. Anyone showing symptoms such as fever, rashes, body pain, eye pain, dizziness, or vomiting is advised to seek immediate medical care.
Armed Forces Radio.
Let us hear more from Meljoya first. Yearly about 86th IB extends DTI livelihood aid to peace advocates in Nueva Vizcaya.
Yes, Rolf, the 86th Infantry Highlander Battalion continues to collaborate with partner government agencies as part of the sustained implementation of the whole-of-nation approach of the National Task Force to End Local Communist Armed Conflict by delivering essential services and reaffirm the government's commitment to communities previously affected by insurgency. The Highlander troopers facilitated the awarding of the livelihood kits to 3 peace advocates from Nueva Vizcaya at the DTI Provincial Office, Barangay Santa Rosa, Bayumbong, Nueva Vizcaya. Prior to the awarding, the beneficiaries attended a livelihood seminar designed to equip them with knowledge and practical skills in managing their bigasan and sari-sari store starter packages. This seminar ensures that the livelihood assistance provided is not only received but also sustained and effectively managed. These beneficiaries are among the many individuals who were once deceived by communist terrorist groups. It is also part of the Pangkabuhayan, Pagbangon at Ginhawa program of the Department of Trade and Industry Nueva Vizcaya, led by Mr. Ramil D. Garcia, CPA Acting Provincial Director. The program reaffirms the government's commitment to uplifting vulnerable sectors, promoting sustainable local economic development, and empowering individuals and families striving to improve their quality of life. The 86th Infantry Battalion remains dedicated to fostering peace, promoting development, and ensuring that communities and individuals once affected by insurgency continue to feel the presence, care, and support of the government. This is Meljoy Nesho Arroco reporting for AFP Community News. One AFP for stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Maljoy of First CRG.
DWDD National News.
The new NAIA Infra Corporation will begin rolling out automated biometric immigration electronic gates at the Ninoy Aquino International Airport. This is a part of its modernization program, with phased implementation starting next month to speed up passenger processing. The electronic gates will use passport scanning and facial recognition to reduce wait times and improve overall efficiency. These systems will be installed in Terminals 1 and 3, with the first phase launching next month and full deployment expected early next year. The project will complement the biometric touchpoints that new NAIA Infra Corporation has already introduced at check-in, security screening, and boarding.
DWDD National News.
The Department of Interior and Local Government is verifying reports that its internal systems were breached by hackers. In a statement, DILG said its systems remain stable, but containment and security protocols have been activated as technical teams and government cybersecurity units investigate. The department also urged the public not to rely on unverified online posts while the probe is underway. This comes after an information technology expert claimed that hundreds of gigabytes of government data were taken in what he described as a large-scale breach.
Armed Forces Radio.
And now from Leonor, updates about 32nd IB intensifies checkpoints to combat illegal logging in Basilan.
The 32nd Infantry Battalion ramped up its checkpoint and road security operations in Sumisip, Basilan to curb illegal logging and strengthen peace and order in the area. Delta Company troops led by Sergeant Julius Castillon set up strategic control points along routes often used for transporting illegal lumber and other illicit activities. A team of 1 enlisted soldier and 4 CAAS continues to inspect vehicle in Barangay Tamahubong to prevent the movement of illegal forest products and deter criminality. Battalion Commander Lieutenant Colonel Gerwin Maghuyop affirmed that the unit remains vigilant and will sustain joint efforts with government agencies to protect natural resources and public safety. This is Leonor Tanap reporting for AFP Community News, 1 AFP for stronger Philippines.
Thank you so much, Leonor.
DWDD National News.
Meanwhile, employees across Eastern Visayas, including domestic workers, will receive new wage increases next month under updated wage orders issued by the Regional Tripartite Wages and Productivity Board. Private sector workers will get a total increase of 35 pesos in 2 phases, with the first adjustment on December 8 and the second on June 1, 2026. Once fully implemented, daily minimum wages will rise to 470 pesos for larger non-agriculture and service establishments, while smaller establishments and agricultural workers will receive a minimum of 440 pesos. Meanwhile, domestic workers will also benefit beginning December 8, with those in chartered cities and first-class municipalities gaining 400 pesos and those in other municipalities receiving 300 pesos.
DWDD National News.
The Quezon City Police District was unable to serve Sandigan Bayan arrest warrants to 4 individuals linked to the multi-million peso flood control bribery scandal because none of them were found in their listed residences. Police teams sent to the Rolling Hills home of Anthony Ngo were told by the caretaker and later by family members that he no longer lived there and could not be contacted. Separate operations also failed to locate Department of Public Works and Highways officials Lerma Caico, Timojan Adiong Sokor, and Dominic Gregorio Serrano, with neighbors reporting that Serrano was last seen 2 weeks before the warrant was issued. The warrant stemmed from the anti-graft court's order to arrest former Congressman Zaldico and 15 others over alleged irregularities in flood control projects.
Armed Forces Radio.
Some information from Marian about TOG-10 conducts Peace and Development Forum for PESIT ROTC cadets.
The Philippine Electronics and Communication Institute of Technology, Philippine Air Force Reserve Officer Training Corps Unit, hosted the Peace and Development Forum led by Tactical Operations Group 10 to enhance cadets' understanding of peace building and national security. 4th Civil Military Operations Battalion emphasized the importance of awareness, critical thinking, and responsible participation in nation building. Moreover, the TOG-10 highlighted the strong partnership between the Armed Forces of the Philippines and academic institutions in promoting community stability and youth involvement. The activity provided valuable insights that strengthened the cadets' commitment as responsible citizens and future leaders. This is Marian reporting for AFP Community News, 1 AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Marian.
DWDD National News.
The Bureau of Customs is set to hold a second public auction for 4 luxury vehicles owned by the Discaya family, which authorities allege were imported and registered using fraudulent means. BOC Assistant Commissioner Vincent Maronilla said the vehicles failed to attract buyers in last week's initial auction and will be offered again next week. The cars included 2022 Toyota Tundra, 2023 Toyota Sikiha, 2023 Rolls-Royce Cullinan, and 2022 Bentley Bentayga. The BOC previously seized 13 vehicles linked to the family and estimates that the 7 luxury units up for auction could generate a combined total of 103.9 million pesos in proceeds.
DWDD National News.
The Department of Health has proposed a complete ban on vaping in the Philippines, citing the growing risk of addiction among youth. Health Secretary Teodoro Herbosa noted that while vapes were originally promoted as a safer alternative to cigarettes, they have become a more dangerous source of dependence. Data from Johns Hopkins Bloomberg School of Public Health show that 14% of Filipino youth and 2% of adults currently use vapes. Herbosa suggested the country adopt stricter policies similar to Australia and New Zealand to make tobacco products less appealing.
Armed Forces Radio.
On the other line, let's hear more from Gina regarding 5th IB Joint Seminar Empowering Women Leaders in Conflict Resolution.
Yes, Saraf, the 5th Infantry Battalion participated in a community healing and reconciliation seminar at the new Capitol Social Hall in Marawi City. The event gathered Lady Mayors and Lady Barangay Chairpersons from Lanao del Sur. The seminar aimed to strengthen the capability of women leaders in preventing conflicts, promoting peace, and mediating disputes within their communities. The initiative reinforced the importance of women's leadership in sustaining local peace and security efforts. This is Gina reporting for AFP Community News, 1 AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Gina.
DWDD National News.
For other national news, the Philippine National Police has intensified coordination with foreign authorities to locate Cassandra Ong, a key figure linked to the controversial Pogo Hub Lucky South 99. Acting PNP Chief Lieutenant General Jose Melanchon Nartates Jr. said the police will also work closely with Interpol following the issuance of a red notice for Ong. Ong reportedly fled to Japan earlier this year after her release from detention and is facing an active warrant from the Pampanga Regional Trial Court for qualified human trafficking related to the Lucky South 99 operations. At least 2 of her co-accused have already been arrested, and the charges include former presidential spokesperson Harry Roque and 49 others.
DWDD National News.
On the other hand, the International Criminal Police Organization has issued a red notice against Ronaldin Baterna, the corporate secretary of the Philippine offshore gaming operator firm Lucky South 99. Presidential Anti-Organized Crime Commission spokesperson Winston Casio confirmed that the Philippine government received the notice last October 13, with the agency receiving it last week. Baterna joins Cassandra Leong, the firm's documented representative, who is already on a red notice and was last tracked in Japan. PAWAC said it will coordinate with the Department of Justice and the National Bureau of Investigation to work with foreign authorities on the arrest of both Baterna and Ong.
Armed Forces Radio.
Let us hear more updates from Jai about 3 NPA remnants yield to 402nd Infantry Brigade in Misamis Oriental.
Of 3 remnants of the New People's Army surrendered to the 402nd Infantry Brigade in eastern Misamis Oriental following continuous focused military operations. The surrender occurred days after the capitulation of their leader, Zalde Galamiton, triggering further voluntary returns from Sub-Regional Committee 1 members and the turnover of an AR-18 rifle with ammunition. Initial debriefing showed that one surrenderer, Alvin Redondo, was once considered a potential successor within their group. Military officials said the successive surrenders reflect the weakening of the NPA and a growing trust in government peace program. This is Jai reporting for AFP Community News, one AFP for Stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Jai.
DWDD National News.
Taguig City has opened a new community park in Barangay West Rembo, giving residents and visitors a place to gather and enjoy the Christmas season. Mayor Lani Cayetano highlighted the value of public spaces where families and friends can relax and strengthen their relationships. The 3-hectare TLC People's Park sits along the south bank of the Pasig River and offers wide, refreshing spaces for community activities. The event featured a Christmas tree lighting countdown, performances, local merchant booths, and colorful lantern installations that reflect Taguig's history and identity.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
And that concludes today's broadcast, and thank you for tuning in, especially to our audience on AFP Radio DWDD's Facebook page. Be sure to join and catch us again tomorrow for more stories and updates, same time and same station. Once again, this is Rob Susan Abay for AFP Community News, one AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Behold the latest military news update. This is AFP Community News, hosted by Rob Susan every 12 noon, Mondays to Fridays. Only here on DWDD Armed Forces Radio. One AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Ating pakinggan ang mga impormasyon at balita sa kasalukuyang kaganapan sa ating bansa dito sa programang Kumusta Pilipinas, alas 10 hanggang alas 11 ng umaga, Lunes hanggang Biyernes, dito sa DWDD Armed Forces Radio, ang boses ng Kawal Pilipino.
Ito ang DWDD 1134 kHz AM. Balita, impormasyon at musika. Ito ang DWDD AFP Radio. Boses ng